Super Mario Odyssey, but Mario is not a murderous psychopath. I always wanted to see how that is gonna play out.
Mario is off to save the princess again from Bowser, but there's just one small issue. Before Peach was kidnapped, she recently decreed murder illegal. Mario,
Oh,
a
no.
known mass murderer, is the only person who can save Peach from Bowser. But
I mean, he's right. Mario spends most of his time being a genocidal maniac, honestly.
with this new law in place, what can he do? Is he able to put his old ways aside and still save Peach? We start the game, get through Cap Kingdom, and approach Topper. Mario's a good guy, but unfortunately Topper is not. Self-defense laws don't exist yet in the Mushroom Kingdom, so Mario fucking dies, Topper killed him, there's a crime scene and everything, Peach gets married to Bowser, and they honestly kinda lived happily ever after? But that's not what we're going for.
I mean, look at Bowser. The guy's gigantic, okay? He's probably packing. And whoever said size doesn't matter was clearly full of copium when they said that.
Here. How do we beat Mario Odyssey without landing Mario in jail? Super Mario Odyssey has 12 required fights to beat the game, and 3 of them, nobody dies, so those are kosher for Mario. But that still leaves 9 too many murders for him. And we don't even get a chance to not murder anybody, because Topper has to die to progress the story. There is literally no known way around this, unless... Cappy as a character is generally considered immoral. He's not somebody who cares about breaking laws, but in spite of this, he's our partner for the game. So what if Cappy killed Topper? That means there's no blood on Mario's hands, right?
But you're an accomplice.
Wrong. In this case, Mario would simply be an accomplice to Cappy, as he knowingly involuntarily aided Cappy to commit the murder. Knowingly involuntarily. If we can play through the entire game without letting Mario know what Cappy is doing, Mario can't be found guilty for Cappy's crimes.
True.
We enter the Topper fight. Mario turns around, accepts death, and waits. Meanwhile, Cappy decides to take matters into his own hands. Within the minute, Topper is dead, reduced to dust. Mario is blissfully unaware, Cappy refuses to elaborate on where Topper went, and they can continue
Refuses to elaborate? Toppy's a Giga Chad, boys.
to the next kingdom.
Nice.
Cascade Kingdom has one required fight, Madame Brutal. However, Mario's devised a plan. To leave the kingdom, we only need 5 moons. The first is our first power moon. We can follow it up with Chomp Through the Rocks and this 2D moon. With only 3 out of 5 moons, there is nothing left in the kingdom that we're supposed to be able to get without killing Madame Brutal. However, we're not quitters. Through the use of glitches, we're able to get 2 additional moons that we need to finish the kingdom. For the first one, we travel out of bounds and navigate to this chest that contains Treasure of the Waterfall Basin. The second requires the use of a glitch called a CRC, or Cappy Return Cancel. This glitch lets us manipulate where Cappy will warp when trying to return to Mario in 2-player mode. The warp is based on Cappy's distance from Mario and Mario's line of sight, so if we get Cappy stuck up here and then stand in a specific spot on this rock, we can warp Cappy into the checkpoint on the floating island and get our last moon. Sand Kingdom doesn't have any required fights, but there's...
The people who find these Mario bugs are absolutely, completely just out of it. I'm not gonna lie. These people are insane.
a catch. If we kill Harriet in Sand Kingdom, we can go through a warp painting to Metro Kingdom, do another CRC, and skip the Mecha Wiggler fight. You might argue that killing a robot doesn't count as murder. Unfortunately, Mecha Wiggler is sentient, so it is murder. This means we have to go through a Harriet.
Are you one of those people who every day goes and is nice to ChatGPT just in case something ever goes wrong? It's a valid strategy, honestly.
And you probably know exactly where this is going. Mario didn't see a thing. He was actually sleeping the entire time. We performed the CRC in Metro, bringing us to the mainland. Here the kingdom is in the daytime state, which makes it super easy to collect 20 moons. We can then leave back through the painting and head to Lake Kingdom. Lake Kingdom doesn't have any required fights either. Rango's there, but it's easy enough to collect 8 moons and ignore him. Wooded Kingdom is the same, with there being a few optional fights but no required fights. This is followed by Cloud Kingdom, where we are forced to confront Bowser. Now, if you remember what I mentioned earlier, Mario can't kill anyone.
Emotional damage.
Bowser does not die from this fight, so Mario is perfectly within the law to kick Bowser's ass. We land in Lost Kingdom,
just
which
in a
has one
hospital.
required fight, Klepto. If we land in certain parts of the kingdom, Klepto will steal Cappy, and the only way we can get him back is through murder. However, we can strategically avoid the areas of the map where Klepto steals Cappy, and then by approaching Klepto from a different angle, we can scare him into not taking Cappy at all. This is 100% not intended by the game, but does give us enough room to collect enough moons and leave the kingdom. The next few kingdoms are a cakewalk for Mario and Cappy. Metro is already done, so we leave it immediately, while Snow and Seaside both have 0 required fights. But once we reach Luncheon, Spewart blocks the way. There are only 3
all Mario is doing here is just genociding rabbits at this point, and most of them are female. Kinda sus.
moons available in the area before fighting Spewart, but we can perform a trick where we jump around his arena to skip the fight. This opens up the rest of the kingdom to us. However, the moons we can grab here are a bit more limited than normal because we haven't progressed the story past the Spewart fight. Fortunately, there are still 15 moons that we can grab to finish up the kingdom.
15.
Next is Ruined. Unfortunately, there's a boss fight here and there's no way around it. And not to mention, I don't see how Mario could manage to not see Cappy kill this thing. It's a massive dragon and the fight is just way too loud. There's no way Mario doesn't end up in jail after this, but wait a second. This is actually one of the fights where nobody dies. The dragon sort of just sits around and watches you after you beat it. So legally speaking, there is nothing wrong with what Mario's about to do here. Following Ruin.
Well, that did look like a murder, not gonna lie. But hey, a little bit of intimidation, as long as the police doesn't get involved, technically it's fine. And again, if no one sees you committing the murder and no one finds you doing the deed, technically, nothing wrong happened. You know, it's just a missing person case.
Ruined, we finally reach Bowser's Kingdom. Throughout the kingdom, there are 4 required fights. The first is this ogre that Cappy kills while Mario is sneezing. Next, at the midpoint of the kingdom, we run into Harriet's twin sister and Topper's twin brother. Mario can't tell the difference, but Cappy knows the truth. He killed Harriet and Topper. It's clear to him that these are different people. With his prior experience, neither of these fights are too hard. Topper goes down quick, so does Harriet, while Mario is none the wiser. With both of them dead, there is only one more fight left in the kingdom, the Mecha Brutal. Normally, you do this fight by capturing a Pokeo and poking each of the Brutals to death to explode the mech. That won't work because of that little law we mentioned earlier. However, the safest spot for Mario during this fight is on top of the mech, so at the beginning, we climb up. This puts Cappy in the perfect position to do the dirty work while Mario is busy contemplating how he's going to spend the rest of his life on top of a robot. Cappy takes out all 4 of the Brutals. Mario's confused.
That's a little bit of a stretch, okay? Mario definitely is hearing the sounds of murder, you know? Usually people are not exactly quiet when they are about to go to the other side. They're kind of vocal, especially if someone takes their time doing it, you know? I don't think this would have actually worked. I think this strategy would have 100% failed.
But simply assumes that the Brutals gave up and put together a fireworks show as a sign of peace. As Mario and Cappy fly off...
That's a good excuse, though. That is actually a good story when you're going to be grilled by the detectives for potential murder and being an accomplice. And willful ignorance. Let's not actually forget that willful ignorance is 100% a thing that happens and people go to jail for it. So I don't think Mario is gonna be there. Admittedly, maybe he saves Peach and he can at least have a little bit fun before he's inevitably thrown into prison. But, you know, we will see.
Into the sky on the Odyssey, Mario reflects on their journey and how incredible it was that they got where they are now without killing a single person. "It's-a me!" exclaims Mario. "Yeah, me day," responds Cappy. To an outsider, this might not seem like much of a conversation, but if you've played Mario Odyssey before, this is just the heartfelt sort of way they talk to each other. In Moon Kingdom, there are 2 required fights, Madame Brutal and Bowser. We can skip the Madame Brutal fight by doing a trick called Moon Skip to scale this wall and immediately reach the church. In the church,
there's always a skip in Mario. There has not been a game of Mario where there aren't 50 trillion different ways to skip something.
We'll find Bowser and begin the fight.
Whoa, they looked even happy. Look at this. Oh, Mario, you're saving me. Don't exactly want it to go. How about you go away? You know, we're gonna consummate our marriage right here. Look at Bowser. I mean, the guy's jacked, the guy's stacked. He has a kingdom on the moon. What's Mario gonna bring her back to? A plumber's salary? Now, admittedly, plumbers are a pretty good, honestly, job opportunity. They do make a decent amount of money, but there's no pizzazz in being a plumber, okay? Being the even dictator of a small kingdom that's kind of going under slowly, is way more attractive than just being a plumber. Mario is completely P-blocking Princess Peach right there, okay? She probably doesn't want it, but if Mario does beat up Bowser by law of the nature and the jungle, she kind of needs to go with him because he has earned this right. I mean, this is how society works, honestly. Every woman is gonna split up with you if you get beaten like a little baby in front of them, okay? Your integrity as a man is gone, and if Bowser gets beaten by Mario, let's be real, he's also a midget compared to a Bowser. I mean, he can only blame himself at that point.
Bowser and begin the fight. Since Bowser doesn't actually die from this fight, Mario takes no shame in crashing his wedding and kicking his butt. From this point on, there are no more enemies left to fight. Mario can simply make his way through the caves, reach this wire, and blast off to finish the game.
Huh? Nice.
Shortly after the events that transpired on Moon Kingdom, Cappy was apprehended by the Mushroom Kingdom police force and put on trial for murder. On May 12th...
Honestly, it should be genocide, considering he literally only killed bunnies. And I guess... No, literally just bunnies, yeah.
2022, Cappy would be found guilty on 10 counts of first-degree murder, living the rest of his days in prison. Mario, on the other hand, could only sit idly in wonder. If he had only known what was going on, was there anything he could have done to stop it? Thanks for watching.
Damn, this was a good video, boys. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. Hey, I honestly think Peach is better off with Bowser. The guy goes through such troubles getting her, and again, she's gonna learn to love that, you know, God-gifted talent. Let's just call it talent, okay? He's gonna learn that, boys. It is what it is, you know it's gonna happen. Whoever doesn't believe me, yeah, keep telling yourself size doesn't matter, okay? Woo! In any case, this was good. This was good stuff.